Hi, I'm Camille Dunbar. Some of you might recognize me from my stand-up comedy show, but what you may not know is before that, I was actually a classroom teacher for 10 years. I majored around, but literacy is no laughing matter. Unfortunately, the illiteracy rates are increasing. In fact, 1 in 3 children experience a significant amount of difficulty learning to read. In an average classroom of 22 students, the number of words read correctly in 1 minute ranges from 0 to 183. It is not unusual for teachers to instruct 20 or more students with different maturity and reading levels, those who speak little to no English, who are in low socioeconomic standing, labeled as at risk, take medication, and students who may be gifted, all in one classroom. Because of the large diversity, it's no wonder that teachers have difficulty instructing students adequately. Students spend approximately 2/3 of reading periods independent of the teacher and engage in indirect reading activities or even no reading activities at all. And when they are with the teacher, they spend about 70% of their time only watching and listening to the teacher and students with little opportunities to actually read. Due to high-stake tests, some teachers focus on either the low students or the majority. So the needs of the low and the high students often go unmet, which leaves children reading poorly and eventually labeled with learning disability. Unfortunately, students most at risk for failing school actually receive less engaged reading opportunities than those who perform higher in school. In order to de-center learning, students cannot keep passively watching and listening to their teachers teach. In such a classroom, students take on a greater role and more responsibilities in their learning, while teachers oversee the classroom and create curriculum. This helps create opportunities for students to become more active learners. Peer meeting instruction is one of these decentering options. When dealing with the teacher, some students may feel anxious, which causes them to stumble and sometimes freeze. But when they are with their peers, they feel safer and tend to open up. One peer meeting instruction is called Peer-Assisted Learning Strategies, known as PALS. PALS was modeled after class-wide peer tutoring, which was developed by DeQuadra and others. The Vanderbilt group from Peabody College and Vanderbilt University extended the research through studies to create PALS. In PALS, children work together to support each other's learning. With this method, teachers can oversee many lessons and address more students' needs academically. To implement PALS, teachers first have to rank their students from the high readers to the low readers. Then you take that list, you cut it in half, and then you pair the students up from the highest of the highs to the highest of the lows. For example, with a classroom of 20 students, student number 20 should be listed with student number 10, and so forth. One is considered the coach and the other one is considered the reader. The coach's role is to provide immediate corrective feedback to the reader when needed. Teachers use a set of scripted lessons to teach all students. Each training activity lasts about 30 to 60 minutes and take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to implement.
After training is complete, the teacher then selects an appropriate book for each pair of students according to the lower reader. Then at the beginning of the activity, the higher performing student is the first reader and the lower performing student is the coach. Then after 5 minutes, they switch roles. Each student is responsible for teaching the other student. Students love the responsibility and they were also learning quickly because they learned while they taught. The high-performing student learned at the same time as the lower-performing student, so nobody in the class gets left behind.
To encourage students to stay on topic, there's also a point system within PALS. PALS activities are implemented for about 30 to 40 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week.
According to Mathis and colleagues, the activities were designed to increase students' abilities to cumulatively review information read, sequence information, summarize paragraphs and pages, state main ideas in as few words as possible, and predict and check outcomes.
Compared with other types of instruction, PALS students improved more in reading. This was across all student types, that is, reading disabled students, non-disabled low achievers, and average achievers outperformed their counterparts in the classroom without PALS. As all programs, PAL isn't for everyone. This is why it is critical to monitor the students' progress to determine whether or not they are indeed progressing. Although PALS appears to benefit most students, about 20% of low-performing non-disabled students and more than 50% of students with disabilities did not make adequate achievement goals. Here's a principal who has implemented PALS in her school.
Hello, my name is Carrie Peterschmidt. I'm the principal here at New Beginnings Elementary School, and I wanted to talk to you about the PALS program. We were having a problem here with our adequate yearly progress. We had failed it a couple of years in a row, and then I moved in here to become the principal. At the time, I thought we needed a new program because we had been failing. Things just weren't working for our group. So I did purchase the PALS program. It was kind of hard to get it all started in the beginning just because there were so many things going on. But fortunately for us, we did have one teacher that did take it upon herself to learn the program and implemented it within her classroom. And she did so well with it. What I did is we asked if during the Christmas break if she could teach the rest of the teachers how to use the program in their classroom. They did go ahead and start using it in their classroom, and we did see a significant amount of increase in the students' reading ability. So we continued the program, and we've been using the program ever since. PALS worked for us.
PALS worked for us.
To learn more information about PALS and workshops, and to help determine whether or not PALS is right for your students, please go to the website at the bottom of your screen. That is www.kc.vanderbilt.edu/PALS.